I don't think they can stop us from putting a wall on Texas property. We can't put a wall on federal property, but if it's Texas property or it's private property that we have a deal with the landowners, I don't think the federal government has any say over that. It's not. It has nothing to do with them.
That is Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton on The Count. It aired Saturday night, saying that he and other Texans officials, they're prepared to go it alone with securing part of the U.S.-Mexico border. Joining us now to discuss is Ken Paxton. He's back on Newsmax. Hey, Ken, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. Why is it such a priority to complete the wall in part of Texas that you're going to do it alone without the federal government here? And really, what's the plan?
Well, so this is not an ideal plan. This is a backup plan because obviously the federal government is backing out on a commitment that I think they should follow through on. So this is plan B, and it's expensive, and the plan is to start doing our job to protect citizens that the United States government is failing to do. So we're going to move forward. I applaud Governor Abbott. He's taking bold action here, and he's taking action that will actually protect our citizens long term, not just Texans, but really the whole country.
Is this a fundraising effort? Have you spoken with the landowners specifically who would line up with their properties along the border?
So I know the governor has. I know the governor met with a bunch of landholders recently, and he said for the most part they were ready to go and ready to protect the country. So look, every landowner isn't going to want to participate, but that's why we have eminent domain and have the ability to pay them if we need to do that.
How much of a difference do you think it will make? Again, this wall. We have seen record crossings, at least 20-year highs. And most recently in the month of May, more than 180,000 migrants crossing the border. Will this wall bring those numbers down?
So this is not a short-term solution. Some of the other policies that Biden has changed from the Trump administration were more immediate, like stay in Mexico and stop the catch and release. This is a long-term solution that works. It's worked in other places. I think it'll work in Texas, but we have a long way to go to finish a wall that's along a massive border.
Well, you mentioned Biden policies, and there are reports that the Biden administration is considering revoking Title 42. It essentially allows the U.S. to send migrants back because of pandemic-related protocols here. Now, there are concerns that that could lead to an even larger number of migrants attempting to cross the border. Now, the White House, of course, denying that suggestion, but Axios is reporting this, quote, the administration has been in negotiations with the ACLU, which has put a temporary hold on its lawsuit targeting the practice of expelling families. Here, so Ken, what could revoking this order actually mean for future migrant crossings?
So everything the Biden administration has done since day one when they announced that they would not deport anyone coming across the border in the first 100 days, including if they revoke Title 42, has increased immigration, illegal immigration. So it would not surprise me if they did not follow COVID protocols and try to protect our citizens from the spread of COVID, and they leaned instead towards just continuing to open up the border. That's what they've done from day one, and apparently the most important thing for them is to get as many people across the border as fast as possible, rather than protecting citizens from crime, disease, and the social costs and the economic costs of illegal immigration.
We have been waiting to see when Vice President Kamala Harris, the so-called border czar, will plan her trip to the border. She says she will go, but she, of course, has not yet done so. We've learned Donald Trump has his own plans in place to visit the border June 30th. What do you anticipate to come from that trip? Again, the former president seeing the border and what's happening firsthand.
Well, I love that he's coming because he's highlighting something the Biden administration doesn't want highlighted. It will draw media attention, which has been not as good as it should be. And I think this is a great step towards giving the American people another view of the disaster that the Biden administration has created along the border. And so I applaud President Trump for taking the time to do this, even though he's not president. He will make a significant difference in helping to educate the American people on what's actually happening at the border.
Finally, Ken, I got to ask you about some recent SCOTUS rulings here. The Supreme Court tossing out the Obamacare, the ACA challenge. I know you'd been behind that there and attempting to get that through. How are you dealing with that rejection there? Again, unanimous decision. Are you going back?
Well, so it was a 7-2 decision. We were shocked that the court, with 18 states pursuing this, it's surprising to me that we don't have standing to deal with an issue that is going to cost our states probably billions of dollars, certainly over the next decade. And so the idea that we don't have standing when we had standing in previous cases, I don't really understand it. And we're going to keep trying because we think that Congress does not have the ability to order anybody to buy anything, including health insurance.
All right. That is the Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, joining us on the program. Ken, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you. Have a great day.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.